Hi, readers. Welcome to another day of the Bible in a Year Live Tanakh podcast project. This is week 17, day 3, and today we'll be looking at 2 Kings 15 to 17 from the Complete Jewish Bible. In our readings today, we will see where a series of kings rise and fall in Israel and Judah, many doing evil in the Lord's sight as corruption and idolatry spread. Because of Israel's persistent sin, God allows the Assyrians to conquer and exile the nation, fulfilling his warnings through the prophets. So let's read 2 Kings 15. It was in the 27th year of Yerovam, king of Israel, that Azariah, son of Amaziah, king of Yehudah, began his reign. He was 16 years old when he began to rule, and he ruled for 52 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Yakolaihu from Jerusalem. He did what was right from Adonai's perspective, following the example of everything his father Amaziah had done. However, the high places were not taken away. The people still sacrificed and offered on the high places. Adonai struck the king so that he had Siserath until his dying day, while Yotam, the king's son, ran the king's household and was regent over the people of the land. Other activities of Azariah and all his accomplishments were recorded in the annals of the kings of Yehudah. So Azariah slept with his ancestors, the kings of Israel, and they buried him with his ancestors in the city of David. Then Jotham, his son, took his place as king. It was in the 38th year of Azariah, king of Yehudah, that Zachariah, son of Yerovam, began his reign over Israel in Shimron. He ruled for 6 months. He did what was evil from Adonai's perspective, just as his ancestors had done. He did not turn from all the sins of Yarovam, son of Nebat, who made Israel sin. Shalom, the son of Yavesh, formed a conspiracy against him. He struck him in the presence of the people and killed him. Then he took his place as king. Other activities of Zechariah are recorded in the annals of the kings of Israel. The word Adonai, which he had spoken to Jehu, was, "Your descendants down to the 4th generation will sit on the throne of Israel." And that is exactly what happened. Shalom, the son of Yavesh, began his reign in the 39th year of Uzziah, king of Yehudah. He ruled in Shamron for only a month. Menachem, son of Gadi, went up from Tirzah, came to Shamron, struck Shalom, the son of Yavesh, in Shamron and killed him. Then he took his place as king. Other activities of Shalom and the conspiracy he formed are recorded in the annals of the kings of Israel. From Tirzah, Menachem attacked Tifshach, all the people in it and its territory, because they had not opened their gates to him. So he sacked the city and ripped apart all its pregnant women. In the 39th year of Azariah, king of Yehudah, that Menachem, the son of Gadi, began his reign over Israel. He ruled 10 years in Shimron. He did what was evil from Adonai's perspective. Throughout his life, he did not turn from the sins of Yarovam, the son of Nebat, who made Israel sin. Pul, the king of Asher, invaded the land. Menachem gave Pul 33 tons of silver so that he would confirm Menachem's hold on the kingdom. He did this by taxing the wealthy men in Israel. From each he required 1¼ pounds of silver to give to the king of Asher. Then the king of Asher turned around and left the land. Other activities of Menachem and all his accomplishments are recorded in the annal of the kings of Israel. Menachem slept with his ancestors. and Pekahiah the son took his place as king. In the 50th year of Azariah, king of Yehuda, that Pekahiah the son of Menachem began his reign over Israel in Shamron. He ruled for 2 years. He did what was evil from Adonai's perspective. He did not turn from the sins of Yarovam, the son of Nebat, who made Israel sin. Pekash, son of Remaliahu, one of the commanders, conspired against him with Argob. Pekash, the son of Remaliahu, one of his commanders, conspired against him with Argob, Aryeh, and 50 men from Gilead. He assassinated him in the palace stronghold of Shomron. After killing him, he took his place as king. Other activities of Pekahiah and all his accomplishments are recorded in the annals of the kings of Israel. It was in the 52nd year of Azariah, king of Yehuda, that Pekash, son of Remaliah, began to reign over Israel in Shomron. His reign lasted 20 years. He did what was evil from Adonai's perspective. He did not turn from the sins of Yarovam, the son of Nebat, who made Israel sin. During the time of Pekah, king of Israel, Tiglath-Pileser, king of Ashur, came and conquered Lyon, Aviel-Beits, Maachah, Yanoach, Kedesh, Hatzor, Gilead, and the Galil, all the land of Naphtali, and took them captive to Ashur. Hoshea, son of Elah, conspired against Pekash, son of Remaliah, struck him, killed him, and took his place as king in the 20th year of Yotam, the son of Uzziah. Other activities of Pekah and all his accomplishments are recorded in the annals of the kings of Israel. It was in the 2nd year of Pekah, son of Remaliah, king of Israel, that Yotam, son of Uzziah, king of Yehuda, began his reign. He was 25 years old when he began his reign, and he ruled for 16 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Yerusha, the daughter of Zadok. He did what was right from Adonai's perspective, following the example of everything his father Uzziah had done. However, the high places were not taken away, and the people still sacrificed and offered on the high places. He built the upper gates of the house of Adonai. Other activities of Yotam and all his accomplishments are recorded in the annals of the kings of Judah. It was during this period that Adonai began sending against Yehuda Retzim, the king of Aram, and Pekah, son of Remaliah. Yotam slept with his ancestors and was buried with his ancestors in the city of David, his ancestor. Then Ahaz, his son, took his place as king. 2 Kings 16. It was in the 17th year of Pekah, son of Remaliah, that Ahaz, the son of Yotam, king of Yehuda, began his reign. Ahaz was 20 years old when he began to rule, and he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem. But he did not do what was right from the perspective of Adonai his God, as David his ancestor had done. Rather, he lived in the manner of the kings of Israel. He even made his son pass through fire as a sacrifice in keeping with the abominable practices of the pagans whom Adonai had thrown out ahead of the people of Israel. He also sacrificed and offered on the high places, on the hills, and under any green tree. Then Retzin, king of Aram, and Pekah, son of Remaliah, the king of Israel, came up to fight against Jerusalem. They put Ahaz under siege, but they could not overcome him. It was at that time that Retzin, king of Aram, recovered Elat for Aram and drove the Judeans from Elat, whereupon people from Edom came to Elat to live, as they do to this day. Then Achaz sent messages to Tiglath-Pileser, king of Ashur, with this message: I am your servant and your son. Come up and save me from the king of Aram and the king of Israel, who are attacking me. Achaz took the silver and gold that was in the house of Adonai and in the treasuries of the royal palace, and sent it as a present to the king of Ashur. The king of Ashur heeded him. The king of Ashur attacked Damasek and captured it. Then he carried its people captive to Kir and killed Rezin. When King Achaz went to Damasek to meet Tiglath-Pileser, king of Ashur, and saw the altar that was in Damasek, he sent a drawing and a model of the altar to Uriah the Kohen, with details of its construction and decoration. Then Uriah the Kohen built an altar exactly according to the design King Ahaz had sent from Damasek. Uriah the Kohen had it ready by the time King Ahaz returned from Damasek. When the king arrived from Damasek, he saw the altar, and the king approached the altar and offered on it. He offered his burnt offering and his grain offering, poured out his drink offering, and splashed the blood of his peace offerings on the altar. The bronze altar which was before Adonai, he brought from in front of the house, from between his own altar and the house of Adonai, and put it on the north side of his own altar. Then King Ahaz instructed Uriah the Kohen as follows: Henceforth, it is on the large altar that you are to offer the morning burnt offering, the evening grain offering, the king's burnt offering, and his grain offering, together with the burnt offering of all the people of the land, their grain offering and their drink offerings. And you are to splash all the blood of the burnt offering against it, and all the blood of the sacrifice. As for the bronze altar, I will take care of that. Uriah the Kohen acted in accordance with everything King Ahaz ordered. King Ahaz removed the panels of the trolleys and took the basin off them. He took the seat of the bronze oxen supporting it and set it on the stone pavement. And because of the king of Ashur, he removed from the house of Adonai the colonnade used on Shabbat that had been built for it, and the king's entranceway outside it. Other activities of Ahaz and all his accomplishments are recorded in the annals of the kings of Judah. Ahaz slept with his ancestors and was buried with his ancestors in the city of David. Then Hizkiah, his son, took his place as king. 2 Kings 17. It was in the 12th year of Ahaz, son of Yehudah, that Hoshea, the son of Elah, began his reign over Israel in Shomron. He ruled for 9 years. He did what was evil from Adonai's perspective, although he wasn't as bad as the kings of Israel who had preceded him. Shalmaneser, king of Ashur, advanced against Hoshea, and Hoshea became his vassal and paid him tribute. But the king of Ashur found that Hoshea was conspiring against him. He had sent messengers to so the king of Egypt and not paid his tribute to the king of Ashur, as he had previously done every year. For this the king of Ashur imprisoned him, putting him in chains. Then the king of Ashur invaded all the land, advanced on Shomron, and put it under siege for 3 years. In the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Ashur captured Shimron. He carried Israel away captive to Ashur, resetting them in Hilak, in Havor, on the Gozan River, and in the cities of the Medes. This came about because the people of Israel had sinned against Adonai their God, who had brought them out of the land of Egypt, out from under the denomination of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. They feared other gods and lived by the customs of the nations that Adonai had expelled ahead of the people of Israel and by those of the king of Israel. The people of Israel secretly did things that were not right, according to Adonai their God. They built high places for themselves wherever they lived, from the watchtower to the fortified city. They set up standing stones and sacred poles for themselves on any high hill and under any green tree. Then they would make offerings on all the high places, like the nations Adonai had expelled ahead of them, and would do wicked things to provoke the anger of Adonai. Moreover, they served idols, something Adonai had expressly told them not to do. Adonai had warned Israel and Yehudah in advance through every prophet and seer. Turn from your evil ways and obey my mitzvot and regulations in accordance with the entire Torah, which I ordered your ancestors to keep and which I sent to you through my servants, the prophets. And nevertheless, they refused to listen, but made themselves as stubborn as their ancestors, who did not put their trust in Adonai their God. Thus, they rejected the laws, his covenants, which he had made with their ancestors, and the solemn warnings he had given them. Instead, they pursued worthless things and became worthless themselves, imitating the nations around them, whom Adonai had ordered them not to emulate. They abandoned all the mitzvot of Adonai their God. They made cast metal images for themselves, 2 calves. They made an Asherah. They worshipped the whole army of heaven. They served Baal. They had their sons and daughters pass through fire as sacrifice. They used divination and magic spells, and they gave themselves over to what was evil from Adonai's perspective, thereby provoking him. So that Adonai, by now very angry with Israel, removed them from his sight. None was left except the tribe of Yehudah alone. However, neither did Yehudah obey the mitzvot of Adonai their God. Rather, they lived according to the customs of Israel. Yes, Adonai came to despise all the descendants of Israel. He caused them trouble and handed them over to the plunderers until finally he threw them out of his sight. He tore Israel away from the house of David. They made Jeroboam the son of Nebat king, and Jeroboam drew Israel away from following Adonai and made them commit a great sin. The people of Israel followed the example of all the sins that Jeroboam had committed and did not turn away from them until Adonai removed Israel out of his sight, as he had said he would through all his servants the prophets. Thus Israel was carried away captive from their own land to Ashur, and it remains so to this day. The king of Ashur brought people from Babel, Kuta, Eva, Hamath, and Sepharvaim, and settled them in the cities of Shomron in the place of the people of Israel. They took possession of Shomron and lived in its cities. When they first came to live there, they did not fear Adonai. Therefore Adonai sent lions among them, which killed some of them. So they said to the king of Ashur, "The nations you carried away and settled in the cities of Shomron are not familiar with the rules for worshipping God of the land." Therefore he sent lions among them, and they are there, killing them because they're not familiar with the rules for worshipping the God of the land. In response, the king of Ashur gave this order: "Take back one of the Kohanim you brought from here. Have him go and live there, and have him teach them the rules for worshipping the God of the land." So one of the Kohanim they had carried away captive from Shomron came and lived in Bethel, and he taught them how they should fear Adonai. Nevertheless, every nation made gods of their own and put them in the temples on the high places which the Shomronim had made, every nation in the cities where they lived. Thus the people from Babel made Sukkot Binot, those from Kuta made Nergal, those from Hamat made Ashima, the Avim made Nivshaz and Tartak, and the Shiphrayim burned up their children in the fire as sacrifices to Adramelech and Anamelech, the gods of Sephraim. So they feared Adonai, while at the same time they appointed for themselves priests among themselves to preside at the high places, and they would sacrifice for them in the temples on the high places. They both feared Adonai and served their own gods in the manner customary among the nations from which they had been taken away. To this day, they continue to follow their former pagan customs. They do not fear Adonai. They do not follow the regulations, rulings, Torah, or mitzvah, which Adonai ordered the descendants of Yaakov, to whom he gave the name Israel, with whom Adonai had made a covenant and charged them, do not fear other gods or bow down to them, serve them, or sacrifice to them. On the contrary, you are to fear Adonai, who brought you out of the land of Egypt with great power and outstretched arm. Worship him and sacrifice to him. You are to observe forever the laws, rulings, Torah, and mitzvah which he wrote for you. You are not to fear other gods, and you are not to forget the covenant I made with you. No, you must not fear other gods, but must fear Adonai your God. Then he will rescue you from the power of all your enemies. However, they did not listen, but followed their old pagan practices. So these nations mixed fearing Adonai with serving their carved idols. Likewise, their children, and to this day, their descendants do the same as their ancestors did. This is the word of the Lord. Amen. Thank you so much for joining us. This is where we'll end our Tanakh reading for today. Be sure to join us tomorrow. We will continue reading the book of 2 Kings. Also, feel free to stop by our weekly Bible study sessions on Sunday at 6:30 p.m. The details for the Zoom meeting can be found in the description below.